Hello, this is Grace again, and this is Here Comes Cosmic Help. I am going to discuss this metaphysical show and remind you that the introduction on YouTube discussed the angelic visitation that I had and the pink cloud encircling the earth, and that the earth was burnt to a crust. I gasped in fear. The angel said, "Fear not," and showed me a pink cloud of light enswirling the earth, and those of that purified vibration, due to their working on their characters to be upgraded and to be good people once again and balanced. That is what the pink cloud of light symbolized. And then a few years later, I came across this book called The Form of the Fourth. And it's written by Mary C. Fullison. And in this book, I turned to a certain page and I just was shocked that this doctor who had meditated and received how to write this book and the ideas. And she says that this book deals with how to combat the inimical forces of the polluted world man has made for himself and herself, and is appalled to find he has made. The teaching revolves around the book of Daniel and the intrepid four who were unharmed in spite of lion's den and furnace fire. Confronted by the modern counterparts, den of man's enmity towards man, furnace of pollution, a way is offered to face their threat and stand. In the prophetic spirit of the book of Daniel, there is also radiant promise of a new day after the time of testing. So that was confirmation, and if you want to hear more about it, just go to the introduction show. But a certain page had the following, and it was so inspiring for me to see that she had received through meditation the similar vision. "Behold, the earth will be visited by light of cosmic fire, and those of light shall be drawn as to a magnet in the band of light, which spirals over earth. It will quicken and destroy in a single moment. Two shall be grinding in a field. What is of light and essence will be pulled into a new magnetic field and made of it, and what is not will be shattered in the instant of impact." Yes, change is upon earth itself, but man must be prepared within and not be tempted to run here and there, thinking it is safer in geography. Safety is in a man and his awareness and his capacity to stand in midst of flame, because he is the temple of the holy fire of my baptism. And be worthy of test. Work that you be made worthy of the test. Prepare but do not fear. Rout fear. The spirit of prophecy has always had to warn that it holds confidence for the way to come. It does not speak of doom in terms of doubt and terror. Look up. Indeed, for thy salvation draweth nigh, and on a grander, broader scale than ever known before. The ages meet in far fulfillment. Why so many now embodied? Many have joined from many eras past to meet the earth experience of new day and from it rise to far extended plains, the heavens. So that, my friends, is what I very much wanted to share with you today. Also, of course, we will be decoding some of the news stories to prove to you, as Paramahansa Yogananda, the great avatar from India, said that life really is a great cosmic drama playing out, and that whether you're playing the part of a servant or a king, it doesn't matter, because when we all pass on from this earth plane, God either reassigns or you get to go to the next level. So it's very important that in these very testing times that we learn to use the sacred gifts of power that are given. And these kinds of power can be decoded through the 12 signs of the zodiac or horoscope, the stars, from Aries to the opposite sign Libra, from Taurus to its complementary opposite sign of Scorpio, to Gemini and its opposite sign of Sagittarius, to the sign of Cancer, to the opposite sign and kind of power, Capricorn, and then Leo, the opposite of Leo is Aquarius, and finally Virgo, and the opposite and last sign is Pisces. I do want to talk a little bit about Pisces. And Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune and Jupiter. Truly, in this age of cell phones, television, internet, and those basically are ruled by the planet Uranus, which rules the sign of Aquarius. It's high-tech, progressive, high-tech subjects, but it also rules the ancient art of astrology. And why am I standing before you talking about astrology? Is because my Mercury, which rules my conscious mind, is absolutely together in my birth chart with the planet Uranus. It is also making very favorable aspects and star pictures to Neptune and Pluto, and now Jupiter. It is also together with Saturn, which had me study all these years the magnificent art of astrology. It truly is a gift given to mankind to help you go through the various tests and lessons that can be decoded. Remember this: the gift of your star is the gift of your story, your purpose, your lessons, the roles and parts you play on Earth, your timing, and your karma. And perhaps the timing is one of the most fascinating parts of the gift of knowledge of the star script maps. Because in my view, since Yogananda said that this is nothing but a great cosmic play, drama playing out, your horoscopes or your star scripts is really, and the East knows this, is essentially a script that we're playing out the various karmic lessons, because as you know in physics, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction coming back. So energy really is never destroyed. And the types of energy and powers you're given can be seen in the various signs. And I'm sure most of you have read in magazines and so forth the general qualities and characteristics of the signs. But it goes far beyond general sun sign astrology. It really are the star pictures that a trained, studied astrologer can decode and interpret and tell you the timing of the various lessons that you are destined and fated to give. Yes, my friends of the West, and also if you're seeing it in the eastern part of the globe, there's both fate, destiny, and free will. As I said, the written lessons are written in your horoscope or your star script map already, because it's energy returning to give you the lessons. For instance, if you misuse Mars, which is assertive on the positive, when you need to have courage and be assertive. But on the negative, you're just going to be violent and overmad and so forth, and abuse that power, then you're going to get the negative consequences by attracting violent situations and so forth. Remember, for every star picture that I might read, either you're going to do the power or the energy, or you're going to get it back in terms either on the positive or the negative. So that's why it makes it a little bit difficult to read at times, because you can be getting both, and you can't always tell which situation is going to be which. But truly, the star is not meant to tell you every last detail. It's meant to be a guide, sort of a roadmap and a weather map, so to speak, for you to have an idea of what kind of lesson that you're going to be tested on. So let's go on to some of the... I'd like to discuss Neptune a little bit further. Remember, every planet is a symbol of energy and power gifted to mankind to use on the positive or the negative, the lower or the higher. And Neptune on the lower level or the negative level is deceit, because Neptune in mythology was he was given power over the oceans and the seas, and also mists and fog. So it would be very unclear. Fog, if something's fogged up, you really can't see. So therefore, people who want to lie to you or con you would be using Neptune on the negative. And on the positive, it would be musicians, poets, people who are inspired, nurses, doctors who are compassionate to help the sick and so forth, the homeless, the disenfranchised, to learn to help themselves. That when you understand that whatever is in your star picture map, if you learn to use these things more on the positive, because negative Neptune, because it's so highly Sensitive, the sign of Pisces, that they're so sensitive that sometimes it's hard for them to react to this harsh reality that they want to escape. And these days, there's an epidemic of pill popping, opioids, cocaine, alcohol, and so forth. That what we're trying to do is know you could use Neptune to be creative. And an example in Donald Trump's chart is that he has Mercury, how he thinks, how he talks, his ideas, is in square or difficult star picture to Neptune. Now on the negative, that can lie, hide, deceit, and fog up the truth. And he's the master at no matter what he says, he's going to cover later and say, oh no, I didn't mean that. And he is not at all ashamed to blatantly lie. But on the positive, if someone has that Mercury square Neptune in their chart, they could be using it to be a great musician, to be very inspired. So it really depends on how you're going to use it and how you learn to use it. So there is free will given to mankind as to how you're going to master what's coming back to you, as I see as written in Star Map, and that instead of where you used to be weak and you would drink too much because you couldn't handle the problems that you had, that instead you learn to focus on something that you loved, even artwork and so forth, anything creative, that you would learn to use and harness that gift of power to the positive side and not to escape through drink and drugs. Okay? So let's go back to some of the news stories. That recently Mr. Khan was at the Democratic convention, and he is he has moral courage to say what he says about why you cannot vote for Donald Trump. That he really, in a sense, turned the tides, because his son died to protect the United States of America. And instead, Trump is not giving him the proper respect and credit. That in the heavens. Transiting moving planet Uranus was at 24 degrees of Aries at the time of the Democratic Convention, the last day. And it really was going to go forward. And it really dug in the lesson and the star picture in Donald Trump's chart of his Saturn, which can block on the negative, but on the positive it's work and building his buildings on the positive. But this time on the negative, it's blocking him, and that's together with Venus, and that could deny his popularity. And that is in square or difficult picture to Jupiter, which is all the people loving him, because Jupiter's together also with Venus. That in the end, that star picture was really in by transiting Uranus at 24 and also transiting Pluto at 15 retrograde, hitting that star picture. And now you can see almost a week later the ramifications that people are going against him. Even top figures, political figures, corporation leaders will not back Trump. But thank you for listening, and I hope this gives you a little bit of awareness of how you might use your planetary gifts of power on the positive or the negative, and also to see an example of how Donald Trump is definitely using it on the negative. And there is karma. What goes around comes around. So God bless you all.